Hi everyone, thank you very much for subscribing to our YouTube channel MySpeedHub. Today I would like to guide everyone on how to handle conflict at the workplace. I'm very sure professionals that working at the workplace at a big organization or a small organization may have faced conflict. It's very common because the thing is that we can't make everyone happy, but what we need to know is that we need to ensure the professionalism is actually carried with us every time, everywhere that we go, and we must know how to deal with the conflict if that happens. Throughout my 18 years working experience, I also have encountered all these conflicts, and I know how to manage the conflict in a very professional way and to have a win-win situation for everyone. Now, let's get started. Do you know the reasons why the conflict happens in the first place? Now, the first reason is the miscommunication among employees or between the management and also the employees. Now, the communication have to be very clear, but if that have been misunderstood, and that's where the conflict may arise among them. Priorities. Priorities is the second reason why the conflict happens. What I meant by the priority is that now among the employees, some employees may have the high priority task to be completed, and the other employees also have a own perception that they have to complete their tasks on timely basis. Now, among these team members that require to work together on these priorities, um, each one of them will actually compete, asking for to focus on the each other tasks on the first priority, and this is where the conflict may arises, right? So whether to focus on the first employee's task or the second employee's task, so both employees may have this priority issues. The other reason is the emotional failure. Emotional failure where the employees may be, overloaded with the workloads, and then maybe facing some stress, and emotional failures happens. And also when the emotional failure happens, they may not be able to control that, and they might show this emotional the stress towards another employees or the management. Also, among the employees or between management and the employees, different opinions or standpoints. So management might want to share their standpoint or opinions to the employees. The employees may not like that opinions from the management, and this is where the argument happens and conflict start. And also the other reason is insecure feeling. Maybe the one of the employee could be doing well in the project, and the other employee may have this insecure feeling that they may not get the the rewards or the recognition, and this is where the insecure feeling comes and the conflicts arise. So the other employee may actually cause conflict to the employees that performing well. And these are the reasons why the conflict may happen at your organization. So when the conflict happens at the organization, how does the conflict is expressed? Is via the anger. So maybe employees may not like the opinions of the management or the other employees, and they get so emotionally affected, and they get angry, and then they show the anger to the employees directly or the management. Apart from that, non-cooperation. What does that mean? Non-cooperation meaning when there's a project deliverables, have to take place within the timeline that is expected by the management. So the employees that is not happy or having a conflict, they might not give the right cooperation towards a particular task to another employees that require the cooperation at that particular moment. Apart from that, bullying. Maybe they feel the other person is having a weak point, seeing the other person having no confidence, and when there's conflict, they start the person or the employee who is very strong, in expressing the conflict, maybe start bullying the other employee. And apart from that, also revenge. They could go to the extreme of revenging the other employees or management. Yeah. So this is how the person, the employees or the management showing, the expression of conflict is being expressed at the workplace. Now, the impact of the conflicts could be very serious in terms of achieving the organization goal and also in building the relationship among the employees. So, the manager or the HR have to be very cautious on the conflicts, and they definitely need to try to take some actions towards resolving the conflicts. But now let's look into the impact of the conflict in the first place. When the conflict happens, definitely it will actually lead to the lack of productivity or poor performance among the employees, because the employees, when they have the conflicts, their motivation level will go down, and automatically they will actually won't perform well in the task deliverables. Apart from that project failure, let's say these employees have to work together in meeting the project timeline, and due to the conflict, they may not give the enough cooperation to the project deliverables, and definitely this will actually cause the timeline to be affected, and finally they will face the project failure. um, when the employees having this conflict, turnover will be also high, because they do not want to face the conflict to go on in the organization. That they will actually resign, and they will look for other jobs. Apart from that, competition among employees, let's say one of the employees are being jealous because another um, employee are performing well, and the conflict arises among them, and also the other employees try to compete to perform well, so that they can be on top of another employee that they are having conflict with. So, and also the absenteeism. So when they have a conflict at the organization, the only way that they try to, away from conflict is, to be at home. So they absent from work so that they can get the peace from the from home. Yeah. And also the termination. Let's say management find out that conflict happens, and they are not improving themselves. The next action that management will take, definitely terminate that particular employees who is not cooperating, um, who is not trying to achieve the organization goals. So there's no point to continue that employee in that same organization. So the only action that the management will take is terminate that person. Now, apart from that, also revenge. Yeah, so they might go to the extreme level where to revenge that particular employees who they have the conflict with. Revenge, as in maybe they badmouth that particular employee to other employees or throughout the organization. So also the employees or the management with employees that having the conflict, what will happen is they rather don't talk to each other. So poor communication among themselves. So when the poor communication happens, it will definitely affect the deliverables of their tasks, and will lead to failure of meeting the organization goals. And also the people or the employees that having the conflict in the organization, they tend to isolate themselves because they do not want to face the person that they are having conflict with. So these are the impact of the conflict that can actually impacts the management relationships with the employees, and also the relationship among the employees themselves. And this will actually lead to the failure to achieve the organization goals. So we can't just leave as it is, but as a manager or the HR person, you need to actually find out all these impacts and the conflicts that are happening in your organization, and take some action to resolve the conflict. Now, what do you do when you face a conflict in your organization? There are some recommendations from me. First of all, is to have two-way communication. Whether the conflict happens between your management and employees or between the employees themselves, two-way communication will actually help to understand what could cause the conflicts and how could resolve the conflicts and to have a win-win situation between the two parties. So two-way communication actually will help to resolve the situation. The next thing is to set clear expectation. Whenever management asks to do something on suddenly to the employees, and this will actually cause surprises to the employees on the deliverables, and that's where the conflict happens. So if managers understand about this particular matter, that they need to actually set a clear expectation towards the employees so that the employees do not get surprises at last minute, and the employees will actually give the corporation, meeting those expectations as per what you needed. Apart from that, resolve conflict fairly. So when you have an open communication between the two parties that are having the conflict, and that's where they express openly how they feel, and they accept the situation, and they will actually take the next step, how to resolve the conflict so that both parties will have the win-win situation. Yeah, and also maintain professionalism. It is very important to maintain professionalism, and the workplace is actually one of the most important place that you maintain the professionalism in order to have a better relationship, and also you can work together in the future. So conflict is normal, it happens. So when you handle these conflicts professionally, that's where you maintain the relationship in the long term. You may have HR or manager along with you to resolve if there's any conflict happens, so that you can actually maintain the professionalism, or you can do it yourself, by actually maintaining the right emotional state and handling the conflict in a very professional and open way. So these are my recommendation, how you can use it to resolve the conflict at your workplace. Thank you very much for watching my video. Please subscribe to our channel at MySpeedHub, and also click the bell button to receive notification on all our upcoming videos. Bye for now.